Hi, I am trying to, or rather obsessing over the idea of creating less noise and more signal. I suppose that's what everybody wants. And I am really, really impressed with this big pile of podcasts and on just lots and lots of different subjects, categories. And Bryan Alexander has done a great job of bringing signal to his own media life. Unfortunately, his signal is my noise. And I'm trying to figure out a way to take advantage of the signal that he has created so that it doesn't become noise for me. He's obviously made a serious attempt at arranging these items. And he says this is less a post and more a plea for help. I certainly can understand that. So I guess what I'm going to do is just walk through this, and in a way, if anybody else listens to this podcast, it's another podcast? I don't think so. Just listens to the screencast rather, then fine. But this is my way of trying to bring signal to this list. So I think I'll just look through and see the things that I have listened to. For example, every once in a while I listen to these long Now Foundation seminars. And they're worth listening to, especially if you scrub through things and just try to do a quick skim. Memory Palace, there is no better podcast on the web than that. Nate DeMeo is fabulous. His latest one is about an exhibit at the Metropolitan Museum that is wonderful. 99% Invisible, again, just amazing what this site does in 20 minutes. And I listen to that pretty regularly on my my preferred Android Galaxy S5 using Pocket Cast. On the media, I listen to that occasionally. Radio Open Source, Leiden is very good. What do I do with all this stuff? I mean, how can I work these into some sort of sensible signal instead of just being a mass of things that I might consider looking at? There has to be some sort of core, something that, some standard or question or filter that I use that makes me say, yeah, listen to this. No, not listen to that. Part of that is the curation that Bryan does here. I've listened to Slate's Culture Gabfest, and it's on my Pocket Cast list of podcasts to listen to, but I can only listen for so long, and like him, it's too hip for me. The education one, which really kind of surprised me that it was so small, but then when I think about it, I listen to Digital Campus. Tom Scheinfeld and crew are fabulous, but most of these podcasts come and go. And mostly go. I can't quite figure out why there aren't any top-level education podcasts. Can you? I'd listen to them much more frequently if I could find them. Maybe they're out there and I just don't know where they are. I know Doug Belshaw has one going right now that I listen to when I view his Thought Shrapnel's newsletter each week, but I don't listen to the whole things. I scrub through it. Just wondering, how I can bring this professional podcast to my life. In Under Technology and Science, it's odd. I listen to the Kindle Chronicles because it's excellent. Even when he, I can't remember the name of the guy who does that right now, but even when he goes somewhere else, like he went to Peru, and part of his podcast was hearing all the birds off the terrace when he was staying. Just really nice local color, and he knows his stuff. And I feel like I'm on top of all things ebook when I listen to it. So maybe that's one of the keys, is to find one or two of these from each category and decide that those are the canonical ones that you get the most bang for your buck, your most return on listening investment, attention investment. Radiolab, well, that's just the standard. It's great storytelling, and I go through periods where I binge on Radiolab, especially when I'm working outside. Twit, I oftentimes watch on my Roku. I've stopped watching it as much lately. It doesn't seem to fit my daily life. I'm not seeing, just reminded here, I'm not seeing the Berkman podcasts, and those are the greatest podcasts that I listen to on a regular basis. And also along with those, the Royal Society's podcasts and speeches. Those are excellent as well. I don't listen to any of these. They look great, but I don't listen to them. I don't listen to much gaming stuff, and I should, because there's a lot of good stuff, good podcasts that I've occasionally listened to on there. Criminal becomes the water cooler podcast that everybody listens to, along with Selected Shorts and The Moth. Transom doesn't do enough to suit me. What they do is excellent, and they're really good at showing people how to do things with radio and audio. And then the whole general fiction section here, I don't do much with, and I'm wondering, okay, can I pick a couple items out of here, like Tanis? This looks great. A reporter's quest for the truth behind an urban legend. That sounds really neat. This is a great story concept, and I just wonder if they can keep doing it on a weekly basis. So I think I'll look at Tanis. And then, of course, you've got the whole world of archived podcasts, and who the heck knows all the stuff out there that's sitting around. I mean, you think about all the stuff that Studs Terkel has done over the years, all the stuff that Gene Shepard has done over the years. These are older radio broadcasts, not podcasts. I know exist out there, and I've listened to some of them. It's great at the end how Bryan talks about how he listens. And I would like to know more about how he decides what to listen to. Okay, so I guess my takeaway here is, Bryan, tell us how you decide what to listen to. That's first. Second, where can I get my biggest return on investment of attention? And 3, maybe I need to start my own ongoing list of fine podcasts for 2017, where I try to eat my own dog food, as they say, without adding too much more, if any, noise to the digital world. I really would like to increase my signal to noise ratio. More signal, less noise. As a teacher of writing, I think, composition, and even reading, I think it's incumbent. We owe a duty to our students and learners around us to do that. It's very hard, but it's nice to see folks like Bryan inspiring us to do better.